Rihanna's style and how it's like evolved, especially after becoming a mom.
Yeah.
I mean, we all know Rihanna. Like,
Yeah.
we love her. We've probably all tried to recreate at least one of her iconic looks, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But like, how has motherhood kind of changed all that?
Yeah.
And we've got some really cool insights from a recent Harper's Bazaar cover story. It's that one, I think it's the February 22nd issue.
Yeah, I saw that one.
Where she's like absolutely glowing on the cover.
Yeah. What I think is really cool about it is that it's not just like swapping, stilettos for sneakers.
Right.
We're seeing this style icon like really grappling with a whole new set of priorities. Like that's compelling to watch.
It's such a shift.
Yeah.
Because she even says getting dressed feels like a fight these days.
Yeah.
Like, this is Rihanna, the queen of like effortlessly cool.
Totally.
She's talking about practicality. Like, it has to be logical.
Yeah. The interview, she literally says, what makes sense? What's easy? What's fast?
Yeah.
And it's so interesting how priorities can just like totally change,
Right.
Think about it. Like before kids, maybe you spent an hour like perfecting your eyeliner. Now you're lucky if you can even like brush your teeth before noon, right?
Oh my God, yeah. And I feel like it's even deeper than just like the time constraints. It's like her whole like relationship with fashion has been transformed. I remember her saying, you go through a fog and fashion is so much fun and I miss the fun.
That fog analogy is so powerful, right?
Yeah.
It speaks to that like disorientation that can come with, new parenthood, where your old passions, the things that like really brought you joy, they just suddenly feel so distant.
Yeah.
You're just in survival mode at that point.
Yeah, you really are. And it makes you think like what that fun like represented for Rihanna,
Right.
Was it about self-expression? Was it a way to like connect with her fans? Maybe it was a creative outlet, and now that energy is just like totally directed towards her kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not to say that those needs just like disappear, but they might need to be fulfilled in different ways, right?
Well,
so, instead of elaborate stage costumes, maybe it's like finding joy in a perfectly coordinated outfit for, her and her sons.
right. But I also feel like there's this societal pressure too, right?
Totally.
Like everyone expects Rihanna to just like snap back and instantly return to her pre-baby style icon status.
Yeah, and that expectation, that pressure to conform, that's something so many women experience,
Yeah.
But what we're seeing with Rihanna is like this really deliberate choice to just embrace this like evolution, let go of that pressure, and like redefine what style means to her, like now in this new chapter.
Which honestly, that's a lot more relatable than flawlessly bouncing back. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Like,
right.
she's a global superstar. She has an army of stylists.
Yeah.
And even she's like acknowledging that this is a transition.
Absolutely. And what's so interesting is, while she's like embracing that practicality, she's not abandoning her like, fashion sense entirely.
Right.
We're seeing this shift towards like, more relaxed silhouettes, oversized pieces, but there's still that signature Rihanna edge,
Yeah.
like the bold accessories, the unexpected pairings.
Right. It's still her. And speaking of like embracing change, there's like this whole other aspect of her postpartum journey that she's been, I think, refreshingly candid about.
Yeah.
And that's her hair loss.
Yes. That Refinery 29 interview from last year,
Yeah.
where she talked about it.
Yeah.
That was a game changer.
Yeah.
So many women experience postpartum hair loss, but it's often just like shrouded in shame and silence.
And even Rihanna, with access to like, the top-notch hair care, she was surprised by it.
Yeah.
She thought it would like, magically grow back, thick and luscious.
Yeah.
But instead of like hiding it, she talked about it openly.
Right.
Normalizing the experience for so many women who might be like, struggling with the same thing.
Totally.
And you know what she did? She embraced it.
Yeah.
She started experimenting with all these different hairstyles, wigs, head wraps. Like, she took this challenge and turned it into another opportunity for self-expression.
Totally. It completely reframes the narrative around like postpartum beauty. It's not about like erasing the physical changes that come with motherhood. It's about adapting and finding, new ways to feel confident and beautiful.
Yeah. And it like goes beyond just hair.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Think about how much pressure there is on women,
Oh my God, so much.
especially celebrities,
Yes.
to bounce back to their pre-baby bodies.
It's like the expectation.
It's just like an unrealistic and frankly harmful expectation.
Yeah.
Motherhood changes your body,
Right.
and those changes are beautiful and should be celebrated.
Yes, exactly. But instead, we're
Yeah.
bombarded with these images of celebrities.
Oh, yeah.
who like seemingly defy the laws of nature,
I know.
appearing perfectly toned and sculpted just weeks after giving birth.
Right, and it creates the sense of inadequacy for so many women who are like navigating the very real and often messy realities of postpartum recovery.
Oh, for sure. And you know what I find so inspiring about Rihanna
What?
is that she's not playing that game.
Yeah, she's not hiding it.
She's not hiding her postpartum body or pretending it's something it's not.
Exactly, and that authenticity resonates so deeply.
Yeah.
It reminds us that it's okay to embrace the journey, to celebrate the strength and resilience of our bodies, and to like redefine beauty on our own terms.
I love that. And it's almost like
Yeah.
she's reclaiming her body, not for the male gaze or for societal expectations, but for herself.
And that's a powerful message, especially for younger generations who are growing up with these distorted images of what postpartum should look like.
It really is. This whole conversation makes me think about how much emphasis we put on women's appearance, even when we're discussing something as like, significant as motherhood.
It's a reflection of the societal pressure women face to conform to certain beauty standards, regardless of like what their bodies have just gone through.
Right. And it's not to say that fashion and beauty aren't important.
Oh, for sure.
They can be such powerful forms of self-expression, but it's about shifting the focus
Yeah.
from external validation to personal satisfaction.
Precisely. It's about recognizing that style is a journey, not a destination.
Yeah.
It evolves as we do, reflecting our changing priorities, experiences, and values.
And in Rihanna's case, motherhood has clearly added a new layer of depth and complexity to her relationship with fashion.
It's a reminder that we don't have to choose between being mothers and being stylish, between comfort and self-expression. We can like embrace it all.
I love that, looking back at Rihanna's style evolution over the years, there's always been this element of rebellion, this refusal to conform to expectations.
Absolutely. From her early days experimenting with bright colors and daring silhouettes to her more recent forays into high fashion and streetwear, she's always pushed boundaries and challenged norms.
And in a way, her approach to motherhood and style feels like an extension of that rebellious spirit.
Totally.
She's doing things her own way on her own terms and refusing to apologize for it.
It's a powerful reminder that motherhood doesn't diminish your identity. It expands. It adds a new dimension to who you are, but it doesn't erase the person you were before.
I love that. And in the process, she's inspiring a new generation of mothers to embrace their individuality, their complexities, and their evolving sense of style.
It's about redefining what it means to be a stylish mother, a successful woman, and a powerful force in the world.
So we've explored how motherhood has impacted Rihanna's relationship with fashion, both practically and conceptually. We've seen her embrace change, challenge expectations, and redefine beauty on her own terms.
And as we wrap up, I'd like to leave you with a question to ponder. What does Rihanna's journey tell us about the broader conversation around women motherhood and societal expectations?
Yeah, it's such a good question. I think her story really challenges a lot of the assumptions that we have about women, especially like women in the public eye.
Oh, yeah.
Like there's this pressure for them to be just effortlessly perfect,
Right.
to maintain this like image of flawlessness.
Yeah.
Even when they're going through like major life changes.
Yeah.
Like having a baby.
Oh, totally. Like motherhood is like the ultimate like test of that, right?
Right. And it's like society wants women to fit so neatly into these like predetermined boxes.
Oh, for sure.
Like, oh, you're the glamorous celebrity, but you're also the doting mother, but you're also the fashion icon. And like, if they step outside of any of those boundaries,
Yeah.
then they risk like judgment or criticism.
Oh, totally. And, it's not just celebrities either.
Oh my God, no.
We see this playing out on social media every single day.
All the time.
Moms being shamed for their, clothing choices, their bodies, their parenting styles, everything.
It's like this constant pressure to conform,
Right.
to meet these like arbitrary standards that often have very little to do with like genuine well-being
Yeah. Or happiness.
or happiness. Right.
Okay.
But Rihanna, like in her own way,
Yeah.
is pushing back against that.
Totally. She's like, nope.
She's not afraid to show her vulnerabilities,
Right.
to like acknowledge the challenges and to embrace the changes that motherhood brings.
And by doing that, she's giving other women permission to do the same.
Yes.
Like she's showing them that it's okay to not have it all figured out, to be messy, to be real.
to be a human. And that's what makes her so relatable, even though like she lives this incredibly glamorous life,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
Like she's not pretending to be someone she's not. Like she's owning her experience,
Yeah.
and like that's incredibly powerful.
It is, and it's like a reminder that authenticity is always more compelling than like manufactured perfection.
Yes.
You know?
It's so true. And when it comes to style, like that authenticity is what truly shines through.
Yeah.
It's not about like following trends or chasing validation. It's about expressing like who you are in all your complexity and beauty.
I think that's like a key takeaway from Rihanna's like style evolution, you know?
Yeah.
It's not about achieving some like unattainable ideal of perfection. It's about embracing the journey, the changes, and the imperfections along the way.
Yeah, and ultimately, like, isn't that what style is all about?
Right.
Expressing yourself, finding confidence, and like having fun.
Exactly. It's not like a rigid set of rules or anything. It's an ever-evolving reflection of who we are.
So well said.
And on that note, we'll leave you with one final thought to ponder.
Okay.
If Rihanna, with all her resources and support, is choosing to like redefine style and motherhood on her own terms,
Yeah.
what does that tell us about the possibilities that exist for each of us?
It's an invitation to like embrace our individuality, to
Yeah.
challenge those expectations, and to find joy in the journey wherever it may lead.
Yes.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Rihanna's evolving style.